Well, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And also I want to thank all of you all for joining us online as well. I want to thank Alabama Care for taking us live. I really appreciate it. And so today we're kicking off with our September theme, which is going to be self-care. And so we're actually going to cover 4 topics around this theme this month. So today we're going to look at creating a health binder, and also ICE. I bet y'all wonder, what does ICE mean? And so I also had to look it up, so don't feel mad. But it means in case of emergency. Look, that is a smart guy. He knew.
I just copied it.
That's also good that you observed.
Really. And so, we're going to cover that today, and then also next week on September 12th, we're going to talk about self-grooming. We're going to get into a lot of different things when it comes to that and the importance of that. On September the 19th, we're going to talk about physical care, and we're going to have a guest speaker that day, which is going to be Christopher Adams from Disability Rights and Resources. Christopher has a real powerful story. Just give you a little brief story, a little about his story. When he was 12 years old, he literally got up to use the bathroom and lost the ability to use his legs. Fell into a depression, became wheelchair bound, weighed over 300 and some pounds, really got into caring for himself, and he just has a wonderful story. I mean, I can't tell it as good as he can, but I'm really looking forward to having him here on September 19th. And then we'll end the month on September 26th, talking about mental and emotional care. I'm also looking into possibly bringing in a counselor or psychologist or something to possibly teach that class, help us with that. And so I want to thank all of you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And also all of you who came to the potluck and Bible study this past Friday night. I appreciate you coming. Paul did a wonderful job back there, a real good job. We're real proud of him, you know. So we're gonna actually look into doing one of those once a month, the last Friday in every month. So we'll do another one in the last Friday in September.
Is Paul gonna do everyone?
He won't teach everyone, but
I gotta give Miss Lorenzo some chances too.
Oh well, I may not teach any of them.
Chance.
We're just gonna really get into the word and eat good. We had a real good selection of food. Sanchita brought some curry. Was it curry?
Yeah, it's curry. And also my mom got tofu. Mom got
tofu.
This is my favorite food.
It was good.
I eat it every single day. Well, almost every single day. Am I right, Mom?
Yes.
It was good. So it was a good selection.
I remember everything of what I eat because I'm the smartest of life.
So we're gonna bring up Miss Jackie Meyer, that she's gonna talk to us about our topic today.
Okay, for those of you who are in the room, you will see that you've got some information in front of you. You have an envelope that says 911 info. And then on your first page, this is a list of what first responders need in case of an emergency or an accident. Does everybody know who what first responders are? It's like the ambulance.
The paramedic.
It could be the police. It could be anyone that got to the scene that has been trained. And amazingly enough, they're all trained in what we call ICE, which stands for numerous things. Cubed ICE, for one. But this is, Paul, what does this ICE stand for?
I stands for in case of emergency.
Got ya. So all of your first responders know about ICE. And you can also have ICE in your phones, and I'll explain all of that to you in a minute. But right now, let's go over what the emergency people need that would make sense. You can almost pretend like you're going into a doctor's office for your first visit, because that's essentially what this is. And this all should be in writing, very clear. They're going to want to know, obviously, your name, address, city, state, zip, phone number.
Email.
Go ahead, Kamal. Can you read that?
Date, blood type, medications of dosage, disability, medical condition, what it does to the body, basics, and how it impacts an emergency, allergies, emergency contact, name, relationship, and phone number, name of your doctor, and phone number.
Good. And then there's two websites down here. One is what this is, which is from Very Well Health, and it's important medical information for paramedics. And then the other one is how to set up emergency contact in your phone, and we'll go over that as well. But this form is very lengthy, but it's the medical alert form, and of course this lets everybody know what that is because of the medical logo.
Emergency.
And you'll see that this page looks like one's upside down. That's because it's folded over, and guess what? It fits in this binder. And this binder, for those of you that have a car, should have it in the car. And those of you that stay home alone should have another one, which we would be more than happy to help you with if you need, to be attached to your refrigerator. And that way, if someone has to come in, an ambulance has to come in, they immediately know what to do. Okay, how many?
Attached to the
Refrigerator, yes. That's the first place they're going to look, is your refrigerator. It's going to be attached either by Scotch tape or a magnet. How many of you know your blood type? Raise your hand.
Only one person in the room.
2, 3, okay.
Come on, guys.
And that's important too.
It's really important because if you are in a serious accident and you are bleeding, they have to type your blood at the emergency room before they can even consider giving you blood.
Wow.
So all you have to do is contact your doctor and they will know what your blood type is. And for somebody who doesn't drive or is at home, Jason, this would be perfect. One for you on the refrigerator and one for your mom. And you can put your names on it. Because in a time of emergency, you are not going to think about these. Does anybody have any questions about this?
I
Yes.
just have one thing. Like, for me, I do have a car. So obviously I would want one in my glove box.
Right.
But I'm home a lot also. So I'm thinking even if you have your own car, you may want to have one of these on the refrigerator as well.
Of course, both places.
Both places.
Yes, if you're alone, like I would have one on my refrigerator and I would also have one in my car. And the first thing, and where you keep it in the car in the glove compartment is where you keep your insurance card and your registration. Because that's the first place everybody's going to look. Okay? And I was talking to Paul today, we were talking about we set up his phone, and I said to him, if you were in the car, what if your car was on fire and somebody yelled at you to get out? They didn't know that you needed a wheelchair. So in this medical history, you're gonna have to put wheelchair use, what your medications are, what effects those medications have on you, on your body, why you need them, and especially if you have heart medication, if you're diabetic, and what you're allergic to. Now, I'm allergic to iodine, and nobody might think anything more of it other than she can't have shellfish. Well, that's not true.
Yeah.
If I'm bleeding and they want to stop the bleeding because maybe I'm not clotting, they're going to give me a drug called protamine. And protamine is a salmon extract, and that will kill me like that.
Wow.
So,
I did not know that. But
quit
I'm
wishing.
also-
Quit wishing.
I did not know that. But I'm also allergic to iodine. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually the doctor's phrase was, told my dad, she's not allergic to iodine. She's deathly allergic to
Right.
because I had been given so little, and I had pre-medicated too for that, and yeah.
So we all see these are lengthy and they're going to take time. And if you go online to those two sites, you can pull one up and try to type it in, but I think it's a PDF, but I'm not positive.
So you was talking about special circumstances there. Like, we had a friend, she's going home to be with the Lord now, but she had got really, really ill. And she was in the emergency room in intensive care. And she had became unresponsive, verbally unresponsive. Now she was still alert, but could not speak. And so when I came to visit, I asked how she was doing, and the nurse said, well, she's doing fine, but she keeps refusing her medication. And so I was like, I go in and I said, well, why is she refusing it? They said, well, every time we put it up to her mouth, she just shakes her head and she won't take it. And so I asked, I said, well, did you dissolve it? And they was like, no. I said, well, she only can take her medication if you dissolve it. She actually lets her medication soak in water and dissolves it, and then she takes it. And so they was like, we didn't even know that it was supposed to be that way. So they put it in water, let it dissolve, and she took it. And so when she was shaking her head, she really wasn't refusing it. She was just trying to let them know that I don't take it this way. But she was unresponsive. And so by me, being her friend, I knew this because I was around her a lot when she would take her medication. So had she had something like this on her in her backpack somewhere stating, right on, where's that portion that you write that in? Right on this page here.
Are you talking?
Oh, the second page.
That page there, right at the
And the
bottom
second,
there.
right in the second page too.
Like medication needs to dissolve in water first or something like that. If you taking it in a special way.
Yeah, like me, like my medicine, I have to take through my tube. So like all the medicine has to be crushed or dissolved, and it can't be extended release because it messes it up. We've learned that. So yeah.
So why do you think she couldn't take, what do you think is the reason she couldn't take a pill?
Swallow.
And what would happen if she took
She
it?
would probably choke.
Yeah, and also you gotta be careful of what medicine you take, because if you accidentally took a medicine, even though it doesn't matter whether you did it intentionally or accidentally took the unprescribed medicine and you thought that was your medicine but it was not, and you slowly fell mentally ill for nothing, and then you start being angry for nothing because
Right.
of that wrong pill you took and what's prescribed medicine you took.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, there was one time that
Okay.
All medicine cannot be dissolved in the water, right?
No, well, that's probably true. If it's a capsule or something, it probably can't. But it can be broken open and,
Break it and
yeah,
make it.
yeah. And so, but that was just her way, you know, like some people probably like to just crunch it or whatever, you know, so, but she just could not take a whole pill. And so, but, had it been written down, she would have been able, you know, that's the importance of having this information in writing. So go
And I
ahead.
think it's also important, like, whoever you pick on as your emergency contact, that they know all these special things that you need. Like, you knew your friend needed her medicine like that. And like, my dad knows that my medicine has to be pressure upper and dissolved. But it's important, whoever your emergency contact is, knows your medical conditions and understands any special dietary restrictions, your allergies, anything that they know it too. Like my dad.
Well, just give them one of these.
Well, yeah, like my dad has a copy of my medical history of medicines and allergies, a form in his wall, as well as I have one in mine.
Okay, the other reason that you need to put in your medications, they need to know if they're gonna give you something to stop the, what, you don't like the way I look? Well, look at me, dude. So if they need to know if they give you something that it isn't counterindicated by something that you've taken that will not work or worse, make you sicker than you already are.
So I got a question. What if you're taking like over-the-counter vitamins? That should be put down as well?
Good question,
Yes.
Mr. Brown. Good question. Yes, they should be put in there because there's a lot of the health vitamins that you take that are over the counter that really don't mix well with other things.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's why they'll tell you in the doctor's office, put everything down, you know, vitamins that you're taking, aspirin if you're taking it, especially if you're taking an aspirin a day, because you're gonna bleed, and they need to know that. And I remember something, you know, when, and I don't mean to call Jeff out, but I'm going to. When Jeff got sick, you got bit by a mosquito. Who knew? Mosquito bites him. 3 days later, he's unconscious in the front lawn. They call the ambulance to take him to the hospital. He's delirious. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't remember any of this, of course. But I go up to see him, and I see that they've got him on the floor, and I said, you know, why are you doing this? And they said, because he tries to crawl out of bed. And I said, well, do you know anything about him? And they said no. So we talked about some of Jeff's medical issues, and then I told him that he was a vet, had formerly been in the Army, and he had PTSD. And what they did is they put him there, and they got all these doctors around, and then they turned down bright lights, and he went berserk. You don't remember it, do you? He went absolutely berserk. And he said, we never knew. So
Wow.
Jeff, you'll be carrying one of these.
Wait, what did the bright light do?
Well, it's because it brought back memories of when
Oh,
he was
so
in
he-
war.
Oh, so
Yes,
that's
PTSD.
why he was crawling out of bed.
Yeah. So, and then when we sat down and had that talk, then everything, and of course, Jeff didn't know what happened for how many weeks?
I was completely out of it for 10 days.
And what was your diagnosis?
West Nile virus.
Wow.
And it's gonna be, the new ones are worse, so. This is another thing, if someone asks for your social security number,
Don't give it.
Don't give it.
very good.
Or someone may do something bad.
You may they may ask for your social security number on here. They don't though. They only ask for the last 4 digits. Don't ever write your social security number down.
Can I ask a question? Can you include, or would it be smart to like include maybe a copy of your driver's license in with this?
That would be great. If you had a picture ID, that would be awesome. A driver's license and anything else. Well, anything that you have, like if you carry stuff in your wallet, take all those cards out of your wallet, except your credit card, which in your social security, which you shouldn't have on you, and make a copy of it. Put it in with his.
I've got my non-driver's ID with me.
Good. So what you'll do is when we get to the phone, you'll see how the phone is so adept at what you all need. But no social security number, last 4 digits.
So, before you move to the next subject, like I'm a wheelchair driver, and I'm paralyzed from my chest down to my feet. And so I was in a car accident. And my mom, fortunately, my mother was in the car with me, but the whole van flipped and it was turned over on its side. And so these men, were running over there trying to figure out how to get me out. And my mom kept screaming, "He's paralyzed." But they thought the accident had paralyzed me, And
Right.
They wouldn't understand did he just become paralyzed, and she of course she was panicking. And then when the paramedics got there, she explained to them that I was paralyzed. And of course, at that point, instead of them just rushing in, grabbing me and dragging me out, probably how they would a normal person, they actually took their time and cut, I guess used the jaws of life rather, and kind of cut the top of the vehicle off and took me out, in a fragile way, I guess as if to maybe prevent my spine or something from being hurt, any further. But like, had I had something,
If you've been unconscious.
exactly, if I was by myself, they would have never known that I was a wheelchair driver. And so, but that's why this is important.
Well, also with you, like people who are paralyzed, they still can break bones or whatnot, but but you don't feel it.
Exactly.
So that's probably why the paramedics took their time, because you're paralyzed from your like chest down. So they have you won't feel if you like broke your back.
Exactly.
So they need to take the precaution of probably putting you on a backboard, especially if the car flips. So it does, yeah.
Go ahead. There's a couple other topics I want to touch on.
You can touch on all you want.
Okay. So I think, there are different groups that really should have this. Okay. We want to make sure, of course, people with various type disabilities, should have it, listing all of the different medications, what you're allergic to, different things like that. The elderly should have, this. But also, what I think a lot of people don't realize is that parents of special needs children need to have this.
So I
Okay?
need to,
Because if those children with special needs don't know how to express themselves or explain themselves, it's very, very important that this information is, is in plain format where it can be understood, how to communicate, with the child or whatever. And so, because a lot of times, most of the time, it's the parent that is the primary kind of caregiver to the special needs child. And so, if for any reason that parent is removed, then another person needs to know how to come in and pick up where that parent left off.
Now, can I have a
Yeah.
question. My dad, I ride a lot with my dad, like especially down to the lake and back, which is about an hour. I mean, it's like an hour drive. Would it be smart for me to put one of these in his car as well? Since we do like regularly once a week go to the lake, which isn't like I said, is an hour drive.
Well, first of all, I would say one for you and one for him, yes.
Well, yeah, I would still say.
But
one
do
for
you
my
both
car.
have iPhones?
Yes, but he won't put ice on his phone.
No, well, we're gonna talk about
Oh, okay.
some other stuff, but I wanna make sure that you, all understand how important, your medical condition is, how important it is. Because if Jason was in an accident and say you didn't have say you weren't in your wheelchair, or your wheelchair was in the trunk and they didn't see it, they pull you out of that accident, they immediately think you just broke your neck.
Exactly.
Immediately, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's going to take them a lot more time to remove you and to secure you than if they knew that you in fact don't walk, that in fact you do use a wheelchair. So at this time when this all matters, you've got, minutes to have these first responders respond to treat you. So it's really important.
Wow. I ain't even think about that.
Well, you need to start thinking, don't you?
Well, but Jackie, I mean, like, first responders want to get, especially if you're in a critical accident or having a critical emergency. I guess it's more an accident. They're wanting to get you the proper care if they think something's wrong. My thing is, are they gonna take this out before they remove it? I mean, because this is kind of lengthy, and actually read
They're gonna
this
take
before you
this
remove
out,
it.
and
If you're like dying, for instance, if you're not in a car dying.
if you're dying, they're gonna do immediate CPR. If you're dying. If you're bleeding, they're gonna stop bleeding.
All right.
But
It's just
if-
curiosity.
Once they get that under control, guess who comes with the ambulance, the fire, the police? They're gonna pull this out,
That's right.
and the first thing they're gonna do is make the phone call. And the reason they need to know who the relationship is because depending on who your emergency contact is may depend on how they report the incident to you, depending on how severe it was. They may want to be rather gentle and get you to the hospital safely as the caretaker or the relationship. So that's why they ask the relationship. But we've got a few jobs to do. Everyone's got to find out their blood type. Okay?
I'm almost thinking like for me, as a wheelchair, driver, that and for those who are also wheelchair drivers, of course, if you're alone, I'm almost thinking this need to be sitting up in the window instead of in the glove
You can
compartment.
do that, but the glove compartment is where they look for everything. They're going to look for, that's just a national.
I wonder if there's some type of sticker available that I can put on my driver's side, one saying wheelchair driver or something.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
That, or that's the yellow dots indicate for them to look in the glove box.
Okay.
Have you heard of the yellow dot
Yes.
system? Which is basically kind of like this, but it would be a good idea if you could find an
Just go to the fire department
Okay.
and they'll pull up what you need. And if they don't have it, they'll tell you how to get it and then we can bring it back for everyone.
Okay.
Okay? Because it is important
They should
that
be.
you don't, there's so many things that could happen, but in the end, what we want to do is save a life. We want to make the job more rewarding for the first responders who very often don't get to have a good result because the person didn't have this. And that means a lot to
Yeah,
them.
'cause if I'm unconscious and I'm leading.
I can't imagine you not talking. You'll be talking when you're conscious.
No, I've been unconscious. I've
I'm just
actually
kidding
been
you.
conscious and not been able to talk. Like physically,
Oh, wow.
that was freaking.
Wow.
That was a freaky situation that scared me.
I bet it did.
I finally got out the word no as they were taking me out of the house. My dad's like, she's not going to go to the ER. But I couldn't say anything else. All I could get out. But later when I started being on top, I was like, remember when you said no to us? Were you saying you didn't want to go to the ER? And said, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Jason, do you have any questions? Okay, all this makes sense to you? Okay. Paul, all this makes sense?
Mm-hmm,
I think that
because
makes
me
sense.
worked on it this morning, so.
Same.
Okay, so Paul and I went over cell phones. And honestly, I didn't fill this out before. But I did do one thing before. I knew ice was the natural place that if we would go into if the cops could get into my contacts, the first thing they would look up in the search would be ICE. And they would hit in ICE, and what came up, ICE, is my emergency contacts and all my information. Does that make sense? I actually put in ICE as a contact.
Now,
Or-
if you have a code in your phone, this is my question. If you have a code in your phone, I know like you can get in there for an emergency to dial 911, but you can't get in.
That's right. They can.
They
They can.
how
They can get in
You got
without
a
your
little button where you
password.
connect the button when you call emergency 911.
Yes, you're right.
How I could,
Okay, so you just put in,
you go to the contact?
yes, hit the contact and put new. Put ICE and make a new contact.
New contact.
And you're gonna put ICE in as the new contact's name is ICE, ICE up here.
Or you can also do it this way, you can go to emergency.
We're gonna do that. Don't jump ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then you can put in down here, see, this is how I have mine, how mine looks, if anybody needs to see, well, it was.
So after that,
After that, under that, I've got who my contacts are.
okay, phone number, okay, okay.
Jack.
See, I've got three contacts.
Okay.
And then I have, in the notes, I have my medical stuff.
Oh, I see.
And I also have the fact that my dog is usually with me in the car, so that she needs to go someplace if they're gonna take me to the hospital.
Oh,
Jackie.
Yes,
So, okay, I pulled up new contact. Put ICE.
okay, put ice there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then go down and add a phone. Where's ice? Okay, now add a phone.
iPhone.
Okay, so you're gonna put in your dad's name and his number. When they pull up ICE, that's who they're gonna call. When they pull this up on my phone, that's who they're gonna call. And
That just looks like that's another. See, where do you get to put the name?
the name goes here. You want a custom label, right?
Okay.
And put your father's name.
Okay.
how to a custom number?
Okay, let's
This is
see.
my husband number, so how I.
Did you put it in? Okay. Gonna add a custom, and then what's his name?
Alright, it's a big number.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm my dad.
And you can put other people in. See, I've got 3 in mine.
What is the name of?
Hold on. right there.
Okay. Then I add a number. Then how would you put the custom again? How would you do that? I didn't-
Okay, we're gonna do done on that so that you can see what it looks like.
I see.
Okay, so now let's edit it.
Mhm.
Where's your edit? There you go. Okay, so now add another phone. Okay, now hit this home. No, sorry. Go back. Okay, hit the name home. Right there. There you go. And then go down to past other is add a custom label.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I've got plenty of time after to spend with you if you don't.
Yeah.
And by the way,
I
any,
did not know that. I'm
I
glad
know.
you
Well,
came.
wait till you hear this
What?
next one coming up. You're
So
gonna
you
love it.
just put, usually it's different, usually it's an anthem. Usually it's different.
How does it look different?
Look,
Oh, I have a bigger phone. I have the plus.
10 plus,
No, it's not a 10, it's a 7.
doesn't matter, that's what
10
matters.
plus, baby. 10.
So it's the same thing, only it's a different size screen. Now, any of you that have Android or Apple, you can learn how to do this online, and we're going to show you the video. But you also can go to the Apple store, and they'll do all of this for you, and they'll explain it. And I don't know where you get, whoever you get Android or whoever your carrier is, your carrier put this in. Because the amazing thing is, we are never without our phones.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have a phone, then at least, at the very least, you have this, okay? All right, now we're gonna watch a video about, do you all have,
I had it click done. That's what I would do.
oh. Do you all see this little app with the heart? It says health.
Yes.
Okay.
Have this one.
It looks like
No,
this.
I don't want
Or- okay.
There it is, right there. Okay, click it, click on it. Okay, now, what we're gonna do is, welcome to health. Small steps become healthy habits when you see how you stay connected. Okay, next. And then this is going to give you your medical ID. Now, what you may not realize, this particular app on Androids and on Apple, you will click when you're through adding all your information, allow, so that when your phone is locked, they come in and it looks like this. It looks like my phone's like this, and I go in it, and then again it's like this, and then I try. No, I try again, and guess what? I don't have anything. It's still black. But look down here. See where it says emergency? Okay, I hit emergency, and guess what? Down here on the left is medical ID, and all my information comes up. Now,
Can you show me
all
that?
first responders are trained to do
Will you
this.
show me that? I couldn't see.
Yeah, I'm going to show you all, but let's watch this because this might help you. Do you know how to do yours?
We gonna set mines up
We are.
when we finish.
That's what you think. Okay, you ready? Can everybody see this all right? You don't need lights up.
Got a minute? I'll show you how to set up emergency contacts on your phone. For iPhone, go to the Health app, then tap on Medical ID. Enter your information if desired, plus an emergency contact. Toggle on the Show When Locked switch so the information appears on your lock screen. To see the details, lock your phone, then wake it up so it shows the passcode screen. Tap Emergency, then Medical ID, which shows your contact. For Android users, your phone may have a similar option. Open the Settings app, then look under Device and Users. Tap Emergency Information and go through to add a contact in the tab. To see the details when the phone is locked, swipe up and tap Emergency, then Emergency Information. If your Android doesn't have this option, there are many free apps that will set an ICE or in case of emergency contact. Just search for ICE in the Google Play Store. In San Francisco, I'm Lexi Savides with CNET.
You might be.
Then medical ID, which shows your contact. For Android users, your phone may have a similar option. Open the Settings app, then look under
No, I had to worry about it.
Do you know where they're going with this? Do you know where they're going with this?
device and users. Tap Emergency Information and go through to add a contact in the tab. To see the details when the phone is locked, swipe up and tap Emergency, then Emergency Information. If your Android doesn't have this option, there are many free apps that will set an ICE or in case of emergency contact. Just search for ICE in the Google Play Store. In San Francisco, I'm Lexi Savides with CNET.
Can we,
Okay, hold on.
can we play that one again?
We're gonna replay this.
Just hit that at the bottom, that little refresh button at the bottom. Right.
We're gonna play it and we
That's
can,
actually another video when it come on.
Oh, it is?
Click it in time. So hit go backwards.
how do I go back?
We have to minimize it.
Yeah, go do it really, please. Thank
It's not a Mac.
you.
It's not the first one I've done it. Taskbar went away. What is that?
Where'd your taskbar go away?
Just click. Go all the way to your right.
Right click or left click?
It's right.
All right, let's skip it. Go
Okay,
ahead.
let's skip it because of time right now. And I'll go through this with you with the Apple.
Close that screen.
And then it'll be, and I'll go through this for the Apple and then we'll try to work on the Android, although I think they're very similar when it comes to this. And like everything else, your first responders are trained in this. They're trained on all phones that have the app. So it's very frustrating if you don't have this set up.
What,
Okay.
what I thought was cool about that video is that you noticed that even when your phone was locked,
Yeah. It pops
you were
up
still
first
able to
in
get that
contact.
information.
But you have to set that,
Yes.
Yeah.
that it's okay for them to get it.
There's a option.
Yes, it'll be an option after you fill it up. Okay, so let's go to the heart icon.
Heart icon.
Yeah, pressing that. Okay, now go to
Okay.
You do it.
medical ID, which is way on the right.
Right.
Medical ID, okay.
This is right at what?
My information, okay? Now put your, okay?
It's medical ID.
That's your medical ID right there, and you haven't filled it out.
So after filling out, that will come.
Now you'll have to fill it out.
Then only medical ID will come.
Yeah, this is your medical ID. You're filling out your medical ID. This is exactly, the app is open and you're gonna put your first name in, you're gonna put your date of birth, sex, height, weight, and then you're gonna continue. And see how this is?
Oh.
And then it goes to the medicines you're taking, what you're allergic to, your type of blood, your height, your weight.
Would
So
you
after
recommend
that it
putting
will
your
come.
sex?
Continue for
Yes,
the-
yes.
It says options.
For sure.
You know, some things you,
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because some people were, you know.
well, no, it's not that. I'm saying,
Now-
like, for some, like, credit, like,
Huh?
things you don't want, sometimes you don't want to know.
Plus, mine's a plus.
Your plus too?
Yeah,
More.
because it's a bigger screen. Okay, so you're gonna fill that out, and I'll give everybody time to fill it out, and I'll come around and help you.
Fill up.
But does anybody have any questions on how you're gonna reach that?
Okay.
And Jason, your mom, does she have an iPhone or an?
She got a phone.
Just the hard.
Okay, we don't know what kind though.
Uh-huh.
Click on it.
Okay. But they all have the opportunity, and you really should let people that know you about this app. And does anybody not know what the app looks like?
Because I don't have phone.
It's a little white app with a heart in
Sign
it
everything.
on the Apple. What does yours look like? Have you pulled yours up?
If I give you phone.
And for the Apple, it's already built into your iPhone, so it won't be hard to find.
Right.
Jackie, the thing on the
That's
way,
why, well,
Like,
your name
people
does
like-
not come with you.
for
But the thing,
instance, go on diets. So like the
doesn't
weight
matter.
will change.
never mind,
Right.
it's fine.
What they just want to know the approximate weight so that they know that you are who they are dealing with.
Okay.
And that's why you should put a picture there. It gives you a option to put a picture in. You should put a picture.
I probably need a
Yeah.
better picture so it doesn't really show me.
Yeah, you can do that. So the other thing is, we can also, if you don't figure all this out, we can also put in ICE as a contact.
I put ice as a contact.
Okay, so if you have ICE as a contact, that's a good start. But this medical alert ID is perfect. It really lets everybody get to the nitty gritties.
To the nitty-gritty.
Okay, can you open yours up, please? Because I don't know what it looks like and I may not be able to figure it out, but,
Height,
okay. No, go back to your app page, like to this.
I'll put 6.
So right now, read the
So your screen, okay.
Are we wanting to put on our medical ID right now, or can we like do this later?
Oh, you can do it later. Don't you have?
Well, we trying to get it from the app store.
No, you should, it automatically comes on your phone. It's one of those apps that you can't delete.
I can create a medical ID.
Jeff, what does your app look like on your phone? For the medical ID.
Okay,
I can show you
Go
this
right
over
there.
here.
This is gonna be way too
Hit the emergency contact.
No,
Go right where, how did we go?
Yeah, well, you wanna know?
On the lock thing? See the phone?
All right.
Okay, what's the screen called?
The lock thing.
The lock screen, okay. Lorenzo, go to your lock screen. And it's on the left. Go to your lock screen.
That's something to really tap.
You should be able to go to contact too.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I came to show me something.
Oh, thank you. Okay, there you go. He found his.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
No problem.
So, have you filled it out?
No.
Am I gonna fill it out?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, what you got?
You got a lot of
That's nice
information you
tap.
gotta put in there.
You know what you can do? Is have your doctor send it to you as a, well, yeah, as a PDF. Then you transfer that to your phone under ICE. And then somewhere in your medical, you say, go to my contacts for my complete medical records.
So I don't know.
That didn't make sense to you, did it?
Like I get,
What I would do is make copies of this and just attach it to your packet.
yeah, I need to make it like retype this, like
Yeah.
this is messy. So
Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
that's why I did not want to.
Did this help everybody think?
Yes, it's very helpful.
really good information.
I need to fill this out, but do I need to take it to the doctor to fill out?
No.
No,
You take it, for those of you who are unable to fill it out, take it to your parents, or, you know, let them fill it in for you. Now, with those who are online, can you share with them where you got this information from?
I believe, excuse me, I'm walking out of the screen.
I see the download on the bottom of the paper.
I'm not sure that that's where I got it, but I think.
Okay.
If any of you that are watching have questions or you want to receive copies of what we have, just send an email to, and it'll go directly to Lorenzo, and you'll be sending it to isablecenter, one word, isablecenter@gmail.com. Tell them that you were watching the segment on emergency contacts and information, and we will make sure that you get that sent to you. And I will send you, also, we will be sending you the links to the video that didn't play, that you hopefully will get. Okay, anything else?
Okay, I can do speech to text to put all that information
Yes.
in.
You can also, if you have to put a lot in, just like Brittany said, you can use the microphone and put it in too, which some of you will do.
Yeah, I would be doing that, but we're doing live stream. So.
Okay, do we have any questions? Did anybody text you?
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm done, if you're all done.
That was good information, don't y'all think?
Yeah.
Yes,
Good
it was
information.
very useful.
Real
I learned
needed.
so much.
Real needed.
I already set up.
Maybe I should be working for Apple.
I think so. You're a very good teacher.
I'm
Thank
gonna bring
you.
my phone and have you help me set it up.
I'll be happy to help anyone.
My dad.
I'm so jumpy.
But I
So,
don't have to have a
so this
professor.
information is really, really important. A lot of times
Really.
when you attend classes like this, you think that this information just some, you know, some paperwork.
Sorry.
This is not just paperwork. I mean, we having this class, this life skills class, because this is a very, very important thing that needs to get done. Okay, in the case of emergency, trust me, this could possibly save your life to have this information already in place for the first responders when they arrive on the scene. And for those who are online or in the room who are wheelchair drivers, just think if you are alone, you're by yourself, and you're in an accident, you know, and you're trapped inside of that vehicle, and the first responders are not aware of the fact that, you know, you are a wheelchair driver. They're going to approach the scene as if you are an able-bodied individual who can just open the door and get out. So, and if you are unconscious, you need to be able to, you know, have that communicated, you know, in a clear manner when the first responders arrive on scene. So that's very important. Now, also another good thing that came up, if you are a passenger in the car, you know, and you are a wheelchair user, you're a passenger in the car, your wheelchair is in the trunk or something like that, and the driver just so happens to be unconscious, or you know, they need to be able to clearly, you know that as well, so they'll know how to approach you and get you out. Also, make sure parents of special needs children, that you got this information down, so that, you know, if for some reason you're out of the picture, that information is communicated for your special needs child. This is very, very important. So everybody kind of got a good idea on how to set everything up? You got it good? Got it good? Okay. Good. Well, we're going to end the class a little shorter today. And I want to thank all of you all for attending today. And I hope to see you all again on next week, on next Thursday. I want to thank Miss Jackie Meyer. Let's give Miss Jackie Meyer a hand clap for leading the class. Also,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you, Nathan Burks, for taking us live. We really appreciate it. So you all have